And we're back in the shop. I adjusted the setup so we're at the back corner of the shop where the saw stop is, because we're going to be cutting that panel that was in the van. So if you guys did not watch the previous live stream, we are working on Lone Star. So that is Jim and Linda's van, and we're finishing it up. We are in a sprint to knock this one out, and really excited because there's a lot of cool things in this van. The custom dinette, custom cushions that are coming here in the next few days. They didn't come today, so I think they're coming Monday. But we're going to be working tonight on the two panels. We have one panel that is the top. This is the top passenger panel on the van. We need to cut this right-hand side off just a little bit to get it to fit in there. We're going to upholster it. And then we have our big panel that we've modified a bunch to get everything to fit the way we want it to. And so this one, it's huge. You can't see the whole thing, but we'll zoom out here in a minute so you guys can see it. We need to open up some holes, and then we need to trim one of the sides down on it. But before we do that, we'll cut some upholstery, and then we'll do all that stuff. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. Shouldn't be too loud, but we're going to crank up the saw stop, and we're going to cut off a portion of this. So let's get a tape measure. So if you're DIYing it, you may not have a saw stop. I really like it. There's a gauge down here if you guys are looking to invest in one of these, and you can just move it to wherever you need to cut, and it's going to be just spot on exactly where you put it once you dial the whole saw in. So let's see here. We got an inch to 3/8. So about 1 3/8 that we need to take off. But when we're subtracting it, we got to measure from the blade on this one. So let's just triple check. Inch, 1, 2, 3, 3/8. 1, 2, 3/8. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right, just gonna chop this off. All right, this guy's good to go. We're actually going to trace out a piece. I'll move the camera since we're not doing any more saw stop cutting. Okay, so we got a couple pieces that we need to cut out. So inside the Ford Transit, when I was talking in the earlier live stream, there's a seam. We need to have a piece of fabric like this. And this is going to cover the seam from behind the panel. So if you can imagine, this gets glued into the van. And then when the panels meet, if there's a gap, it's usually about maybe 1/8 of an inch. It could be no gap, but if there is, it allows it to not show the body color of the van, essentially. So it's just really easy. So I went ahead and pre-measured this. So this one is not going on this panel, obviously, but you can see it's a little bit shorter because we've already got some overlap from a previous piece, and then over here we've got that structure in the van that it doesn't need to go that far. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll this up. This is going to be cutting out some holes in our other piece. So let's go ahead and let's put this to a side. We're going to probably upholster that one second. Oh yeah, I know I had it up here. So before we roll this up, we're going to go ahead and measure. And if you go ahead and have a whole roll, so this is marathon fabric and heather gray is the color. This is tweed fabric. It's actually got Teflon fibers in it. It's very strong. And I think it's Teflon fibers. Anyway, if you have something very sharp, it's easy to cut through, but it's also very abrasive resistant. It's just a really good material to use for working on your van. It has this additional coating on the back here that helps, doesn't solve, but it helps for the glue or the adhesive not to bleed through. I use Super 77 adhesive. You don't want to use the green can, the 3M90. You don't want to use that for upholstery, in my opinion. The reason is this works the best for fabric. Let's see here. Oh yeah, what I was going to say. As you're making these panels, don't every time cut this off. Start to have a piece like this that goes much longer, because what you're going to be able to do is save it, and you can use it as a piece to go those long distances in the van and cover that seam. You can use it as the seam piece, and you can just more efficiently use your piece of fabric like that. You're going to see me cut it off in this scenario. Was just giving you an example, because my next piece is going to be a full panel, which I'll need this full piece to wrap this piece behind me. But what I'm going to do is just cut it off, and I'll keep this in case I have a long length that I can use this for later. All right, so we got this piece. Let's just go ahead and upholster this while we're here. All right. Once again, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Let me hop over to, let's see here. All right, just checking out the stream. Where is my mask? You do want to use a mask for this. Be in a well-ventilated area. So what we're going to do, we're going to coat the piece of wood first. We're going to take it off, set it to a side. Then we're going to coat the second piece, the fabric, and then we're going to bond them together. And so what I do is I just take a little screwdriver and I scrape off the part that's dried from the last time, because it'll make like a big old snot drip right here. So clean it off, get started. Next you want to use some nitrile gloves. Something pretty cool about the 77 is it does not stick to the nitrile gloves, which is pretty cool. But be careful about using these consistently through upholstery. One thing that's a downside is if you get the glue or adhesive on your gloves, you're not going to feel it, and you can transfer it to the good side of the fabric and kind of mess the work up the work that you did. I've changed the way that I apply this. I've kind of learned over time. I used to do like 3 coats, and I used to wait a minute between each one. Apparently, there's a better way to do it. And so what I do is I just do one good heavy coat right on the edge of it almost being wet, you could say. Because now they changed the branding and the layout and the branding and the colors of the can. So they had this is the old can. This is the old can right here. Old can, and this is the new can. And I don't think the instructions changed. But it says bonding range is 30 seconds to 15 minutes. I wanted to have some better bonding strength, and I've just kind of played around with a 1 coat, and I think I've got it nailed down. I think I was just using like way too much adhesive in the past because it took me forever. So I'm going to coat this like kind of the new way that I'm doing it, and we'll show you what it looks like. So a much slower, heavier coat. Now you don't want to get it too wet because then it's not actually going to stick, and you don't want bubbles that are popping. So these little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drops. Not too bad. So we're going to wait for about a minute. We'll put this to the side and then we'll spray the bottom. One bonus of doing it exactly like I did is it will create this outline, and that is the space you need to apply the adhesive. When we get, after it's applied, we will go back around the edge and apply some more adhesive. Okay, so we're just going to take this, flip it over. And when you flip it over, let it fall down. So get it on one side and let it fall down. Or whatever way that you feel comfortable that you're not going to smush this up. Because once it gets bonded, if you rip it off to reposition it, it's compromising the bond. So you don't want to do that if you can help it. So we're just going to line it up. Maybe find an edge that we want to go hit to. So right there. Also, make sure your grain of the fabric is perpendicular, because I'll show you here in a second. So we're just going to drop it down. Go ahead and press it, because we want the grain to be vertical. It's not the end of the world if it doesn't happen like that, but it just doesn't look professional, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So next what we're going to do is we're going to overlap this just a little bit. I'll bring the camera in so you guys can really see. Okay. I like this table here because I can actually clean it off with some denatured alcohol after I'm done. To be quite honest, every table in the shop kind of has like this residue, but after it dries, it's actually not sticky. So if you're going to work with this spray, it will obviously go places. It'll kind of go on the floor. So I like to work away from the van as much as possible. You don't want to overspray and get this on the van. Also, you don't have to shake the can. That's just like, that's just something that I do. Actually, it says shake well. I don't know.
you'll know if it's not coming out. Also, when the can gets down to about 3/4, I just grab another can. I don't waste time trying to, turn the can and twist it. I have to like just keep going. But we're going to overlap about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, and 1 inch on this bottom side. Don't go too crazy on this as far as spraying over. Just try to keep it 1.5 inches in. You'll see why in a second. Because when this flips over, you don't want to have this all, it's just going to make a mess. Because especially if you're DIY and you haven't done it before, if you need to take this panel off and redo something, your insulation might get all stuck to it, and there's no need for that. Yep, and we're just going to hit this one time. And I've got kind of lazy. I just I keep the razor. I just use it without the holder. But what I do is if I need to break these off, is I will put them in a bucket over here. So I don't throw these in the trash can. Have like a sharps bucket to keep those in there. So this is what we're going to use to fold it over. So what I do on the edges is I bring it in. So I don't know if you guys can see over here. But I'll take this, I don't go all the way to the edge, I come in just a little bit. And I come down, and then same thing for this side. I don't cut all the way through, I leave that open. And what I do with this piece is I'll take this little string piece right here in the corner, and I'll use that to kind of pull over, and I'll have that make my corner. There's all kinds of
upholstery videos, so find the one online, whether it's mine or somebody else's that you like, and you can kind of pick up their technique. At the end of the day, it's really just whatever works for you. I used to take this corner, fold it in, and then cut it off with a pair of scissors. But I've learned, like, being able to pull this in, like a little, it keeps that corner nice and tight. So over time, it doesn't get, detach. This inner piece, face, needs to be, make sure you have good adhesive on that. And you don't want to just flap this over. You may, if you do that, you may get a wrinkle on this side. So you just want to come up and just slowly fold that in with pressure. To lock that in so you don't get a bubble on the back side. Then take your thumb and just kind of keep going and just keep creasing this. And then when you're done, it should look something like that. And then you're gonna do the same thing here. Come down here. Now again, I'm being aware of the fact that my hands have adhesive on these gloves, and I'm touching the fabric. as I'm rolling, but I don't want it to actually, I don't want to touch the nice fabric on the other side. So again, I'm just going to pull that tail kind of up and over, lock it into place. And I'll start down here folding this up, making sure that I don't have like a bubble on the back side. You can feel it in your hand. And you definitely want to do this with gloves on. It will get really hot. The adhesive's not getting hot, it's just the friction of you rubbing this down. So you can see how that seam gets smaller as I fold it over, which makes sense. That's why we don't want to spray so much adhesive on the back here. We just don't want to get it all messy. And when you get one corner and one side done, that's when you want to flip it over. Just makes it easier to work with. Keep in mind that you don't have anything on the table. This table looks dirty, but it's clean. Don't forget, like if you dripped some adhesive and you weren't aware and you smush this down, you've upholstered your whole panel, but then when you go to install it, you're like, oh crap, I have a big black spot on the other side. Because you don't want to have to redo this. It's not really a redo with upholstery, in my opinion. I've had to fix some things, but nothing. It's either I can rip it off and I probably get one more chance to reupholster it. I don't think I've actually ever had to do that. Maybe one time. Again, make sure my glove doesn't have stuff on it. Now, before we put this panel in, we're going to do our masking tape trick where we go through and then tape off on the bottom panel. We're going to do all the spots where we think will be safe to drill into. Now, I don't have any electrical lines on the passenger side of the van and the roof, so I don't have to worry about anything. But I had to worry about that on the driver's side. So now, we can flip this over and just give this a nice pat down. Make sure your glove has nothing on it. Just want to apply some pressure. Just double check your edges. Okay, so this panel is done. Looks really good. Nice clean edges. And when you buy this from AVC Rig, they do have a sticker on here. So if you really don't know what you're doing, you just have a map. Just make sure the sticker stays on there so you don't forget where you're going. Next, we're going to go get the big panel. All right, let's get the big panel here. So now we don't need to cut anything. I'm going to go get my little leaf blower. I use it everywhere in the shop. I'm always continuously blowing the van out. the dust on everything because you will goof. You'll be working on something, you'll spray one side, and even the pros mess up. Okay. So over here, first thing we need to do is we need to, I guess, first zoom the camera out so you guys can see what I'm working on. So we are going to work on this panel. First thing we need to do is cut out the hole for the light. We've got our center point already chosen, so we're just going to cut this out. And this is for our Wago connectors. The previous live stream, we talked about this. So. All right. These spider hole saws are awesome because you have a little ejector and you can just take out that piece. And by the way, keep those pieces that you hole saw out until you're done with your van build. Just sounds crazy, but keep these because if you accidentally drill a hole in this birch, it's actually really strong. If you accidentally drill a hole here and you're like, oh crap, that was not where I was supposed to drill it. What you can do is you can take, I just, a couple times, sometimes, you know, like I said, I mess up too. You can take a piece like this, cut out a square, place this on there and wood glue it, and then you can come back underneath here, clamp wood glue that, and then you get a 2-part epoxy. You can get these little 2-part epoxy packs, and they're just like a little 1 mini pack. You can squeeze it, mix it, pour it in this hole, and then just scrape it once, let that dry. Then you want to put 2 pieces of foil tape on it. So you do 2 pieces of this foil tape, and that helps that surface even out for the upholstery, and you're back to new again. And because it's possible that you have so many modifications that you may be doing to a panel. If you mess up with one hole, you don't want to recut the whole panel. That'd just be such a waste. So that's just a tip to help you if you mess up. It's not over if you mess up like that. All right, now what I want to do is open up these. I want to open up these holes a little bit. Step drills I've found are more, it's just a slower, it's almost like a more accurate cutout. You can just kind of monitor what size you want to get to. And so I sketched out with my pen how close I wanted to get. I don't want to go too far over because there's going to be a washer that's going to need to go over this. I don't want it to sink all the way through. So these holes here, I'm gonna have to cut out with the jigsaw. Maybe I can hit this one down here. I just don't want to be too aggressive because two things are going to happen. One, we're going to cut out the upholstery, and we want to make sure that it has room to work around the hole so that when the washer goes on and you tighten it down, it doesn't, it's got a good bond so it doesn't move on you. So these top pieces that I'm cutting out, that is for the overhead cabinets. This is the supports for the overhead cabinets. Just gotta make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. And again, if you get Baltic birch, it's gonna not splinter on you so much. I'm using a really aggressive jigsaw blade. I probably should use a smoother one, but I know it's not gonna mess up my finish work, so not really bothering me right now. If you've never cut circles out with a jigsaw, think it like you're driving a forklift. It's like rear steering. That's how I like to explain it to people. So that should get me where I want. We're just going to clean this up a little bit. So again, down here, I don't want to cut all the way off in case I need a longer piece. So I'm good on the top. I'll go ahead and cut here. And I just want to get as close as I need for an overlap. And I'll keep this other piece. And save it. Don't cut it off. There's a bunch of spots in the van where a piece like this you want to use, but you end up wasting a lot of the roll to get it. Yeah, and so a lot of stuff in the van building world, it's a lot of repetitive task. So take it off, measure it, take it off. I mean, especially for me, since it's a one-man show over here, but I don't know. I enjoy. I like doing everything. I don't like just to do one thing. I kind of like all aspects of a certain task. All right, so for this one, I'm not going to use these cans. I'm going to go get a new can. But if you guys have any questions, you can drop those into the chat. Always double check your work, because guess what? This is the right side to upholster. So don't do that mistake. Wouldn't be the end of the world, just, man, it'd be a mess. I want to hit this one more time.
Start from the top and come down so that way you can lean across. This one's going to take a while, so just take your time. Go nice and easy, don't rush, don't have spots in here where you got adhesive and when then you don't got adhesive. And you can actually like rest your can on here and slide it. The only way this is achievable in one pass like I'm doing is you're really focused on laying something very even. Make sure the wood doesn't have any dry spots where you're overlapping. It is, I am putting it on like a little heavy, but the wood's going to absorb some of this. And you want to have enough left over to make a good bond. The key to this is really spraying both sides. That's what really locks the two together. And if you get a really good bond, it's going to lock together so good, if you try to remove it, it'll actually rip the wood apart. It'll actually rip one of the plies of roof off, wood off. Yeah, so right here, there's a dry spot, so I'm just going to hit that. And my can's about to run out. So I'll finish this out and then I'll grab another can. Maybe we can go a little bit more. There it goes, that's it. Okay, so this can, this is a good can. It's about 75% full. So this can's doing something funky right here. So it was good. So this new can, just make sure that these bubbles, you don't want the bubbles. I mean, a couple's okay, just not these big ones. Wherever there's big fat bubbles, it sounds crazy, but it will not bond. So. Okay, don't worry about the edges. We need to go ahead and move straight to our other piece. We don't want to have too much time between pieces. So when you do the big piece, you're looking for that white haze. See, if I go fast, you see how it doesn't make the white haze? Go slow enough to where that white haze comes through. So these cans are $13 a piece. So you see we went through a brand new can, 75% can. Let's see, this one probably has 20% in it. Okay, so definitely 2 full cans we've used so far. So this is the last of my old can, or one of my old cans. The spray pattern is different on these old cans, but the new spray can is great. It has a nice fan to it. Now you could have an air compressor paint sprayer that has the adhesive in it. I have that, but I just haven't found the need to use a system like that. I'll hop back on the computer here and see if you guys have any questions when I'm done smushing this together. This will probably take 3 cans. Yeah, so the old cans have like a cloudy spray. The new cans have more of a fan nozzle, which is much better. Okay. One more pass after this. Okay, everything looks good. There's no reason, but see how everything's like a big thing of snot? So go ahead and wipe it off while it's not hard. And then just discard your glove. Now we're going to use that can again. I'm just going to get another glove on real quick.
Okay, here's one of the more challenging parts. It's getting the big panel to flop on here without messing the whole thing up. So, I'm gonna change this up a little bit. I need to move this thing down. So it goes down. I'm gonna move this up. There you go, because I want to lay it down on the seam and then we'll just let it fall over. There you go. Okay. So we can kind of see where we're going. We got a line here and a line over here. We're going to come back behind the line just a little bit. Now, don't let the panel curve on you. Now, this end over here, it might have a curl when you lay it down. That's okay, we can fix that. But we just want to lay it down quickly, and it's going to make this just a perfect contact. So just like that. So see it curled up a little bit, but we can just quickly kind of pull that off this bottom end, and they have it all nice and even. Lift it up. Make sure you did a good job. Make sure there's no bubbles. Okay. And okay, so now that I did that, I can take a couple of questions really quick. You have to do that in a quick amount of time. So rod, it is 3M Super 33.
We've got a little cutout over here we need to be aware of, so we don't need to forget that. Okay, so one piece over here that I goofed on, what I'm doing is I'm actually adding in a strip of wood over here to bring back this corner thickness just a little bit. And what's nice is I can actually use this upholstery adhesive to glue this corner back in. There we go. Now, I'll come back to that and then we'll wrap that corner up. I'll show you on camera here in a second. Check your gloves. Now we can't forget about these holes. When we roll this over, we got to make sure that we don't forget to lay that over. So right here is where I made that goof, right there. So there's just a little piece of wood. Essentially what happened was, oh man, I bet that's so noisy. Hold on a second. I didn't know that was hitting the microphone the whole time, but that sucked. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. Okay, should sound way better now. So this, when I was jigsawing it, I had one reference line and it had a second reference line, and I started on the first one. It was just too far in, and I corrected. So now I just took that piece that I actually cut too much off, and I broke it and I reused it. And so now this is going to be able to be reused in here. So we're just going to hit it real quick. Wait about 30 seconds. Let that tack up. When it gets tacky, that's when you want it. You want to roll it over. So while that's getting tacky, we can go ahead and take off. Move this corner here. That corner right there. So when I clean the shop up, whatever day that'll be, I just take denatured alcohol, pour it on the floor, and I just take a paper towel and I can wipe all this adhesive up. It's really easy. It's not too nasty to have stuff to get up. All right, so let's check out this corner. So we're going to go ahead and start to bring this in. Just go nice and gentle. That way we don't make a more noticeable than we have to. And nobody's actually going to see it because it's going to be behind the seat cushions. I just want it to be perfect so when you move the seat cushions, it's taken care of the way it's supposed to be. Okay, so now we can just come in here, and now that whole corner is perfect. Right there, see? Perfect. Alignment all the way down. And then when we get down here, pull this in a little bit, give it some pressure.
And it'll actually, the fabric will, hold on, let me move the camera out. Hold on here. There we go. All right. Okay, so remember what I said, don't cover the holes up. So we need to come back through here. We need to identify where a hole is, and we need to notch. We need to notch that out. Just notch it out. And do I have any hiding up here? Yep, I got one right there. Now remember, when you pull this up after you've pushed it down, it's not going to bond like it did originally, so you really want to avoid doing that. These panels that are sticking over, keep them. They're going to keep this nice and tight on the front for a long time. But take off some excess around these corners because we want this to really bond well to this. So give it that wood area to do that. We're going to trim off this. Okay, then this will be our last piece, and we'll install this panel. So we'll have two upholstered. We'll get that strip of fabric that we need to install. And then we can install everything in the van. All right, so everything's looking really good. Let's go ahead and cut out these two places where our overhead storage bolt is going to be. Okay, I'm going to cut it like that, and I'm going to cut it right down the middle. Okay, and then with a clean glove, we're going to take our hand and get that tacked onto the sides. Get that tacked on the sides. Again, places where you're never going to see this, it's still good practice. You want to make sure you really try to do your best, even on the places you're not going to see. It's just good practice for the rest of your interior. So now we can roll this up. And this part coming off the edge, we don't want that. So there is a point of diminishing returns because if you keep overlapping and overlapping these corners, they get too high and they start to be very noticeable. So we don't want that to happen. And don't cut yourself when you're doing what I'm doing with these razor blades with no holder. But I don't know, I throw these away so quick because I like to keep them clean that that's just what I do. Okay. All right, let's get this in. Now we want to keep these holes open, and when we put those, when we get to those holes, we're just going to make a nice clean razor slit. And what that razor slit's going to do is, if my customer wants to use those holes in the future to mount some L-track or something like that, they'll be able to access them. But if they don't want to, they'll be hidden just through the little bit of fabric that's there. Just take it, cut it out. There we go. Got a little aggressive over here. So I'm going to try to get me some help right there. Okay, looking great. Corners are great. Okay, that's open, that's open, that's open. Let's go cut out these slits. So the slit is actually further down. Okay, so these are actually going to be vertical, not horizontal. And we don't want to push them in. We want to keep them just to the surface. Okay. This is our hole for our light. So we're going to flip it over and we're going to cut out our light hole. Let's see how the chat's looking. Okay. All right, let's flip this over. Now that we get it, we'll have time to push this down. So check this out. I don't know if you guys can see that. We got a bunch of ripples right here. You guys can see those ripples. I don't know if you can see them, but again, clean gloves. Yeah, these aren't too clean. Let's just take them off. All right, let's take our hands and just make sure we get this pushed down. So the can says you get about 15 minutes to push these down. All right, looks good. Now, technically, you could roll this. So just for the heck of it, I'll show you how to do that. I found that it's not necessary, but hey, we'll just, since we had a little bit of bubbles, we'll just do it on this one. Okay. Now, let's find these holes over here and get them opened up. These are really important that we get these opened up. Okay, so we got these. Now remember, we got one more hole, which is our light. Okay, so we're going to just do an X on this one. If I find that I need more room to pull the Wago connectors out, I will open this up more. But really, in a perfect world, what I just did is, it's how you want to treat a hole, like this. So these, let's see, we got one here, and one here, one there, one there, one at the bottom. Okay. So make sure we didn't forget anything. So two at the top, one at the bottom, You got these on the side and this one. Okay. So this panel is good to go. So, Rod, good question. Is it easy to clean the material? So there's one thing you can do is you can take a denatured alcohol and like a microfiber cloth and just lightly rub like a stain or something off, but you don't want to use too much because what you're going to do is compromise the adhesive behind it. But brushing it off with like a brush is good. Pretty easy to do. Like an air compressor, just like spraying it down. That's a good way to clean it. Does it hold odors? That's another good question. I get that a lot. And to be honest with you, I don't know. I mean, you know, if you're a smoker, it's obviously going to hold that smell. If you're cooking inside the van, it's probably going to hold the smell. My experience is, you know, kind of whatever you do in the van, cook or whatever, just get adequate ventilation. Even if you had all clean, wipeable surfaces, it's still going to have some type of residue from, like, if you are cooking in the van. I typically would just cook outside the van as much as possible. Maybe only cook maybe once or twice in the van on like a rainy day or a cold day. But it's really hard to say that it's not just this material. Let's say you had wood. You know, if the wood's not sealed, it could absorb those smells. So it's really hard to say. It depends on how your ventilation is in your van, what you're cooking, that sort of thing, I'd say. I'm going to take this camera and move the setup into the van. So bear with me a second. Here, we'll put it there so it's not such a crazy drive back over here. Yeah, it's very hard for me to say that it will or will not hold smells. I think just, you know, on the surface, it's a fabric, probably going to hold smells, but again, you can vent the van out. You can, you know, get an air freshener. Just think of it like your house. You know, if you cook in the kitchen or you burn something or you burn a bag of popcorn, it's going to smell. But, you know, your house doesn't smell like burnt popcorn forever. So maybe that's a good way to look at it. Thanks, Rod. Yeah, it's going to look really good here in just a second. We're going to be able to, that whole right side of the van is going to look just like the left side in a minute. Also, anybody else that's on the live stream, if you have any questions, just put those in the chat. I'd love to hear the questions from you. Also, I'm going to send you a link to the website. So couple things I want you guys to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you enjoy this, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. The comments, I typically will make a video responding to the comments. If I have time tonight, after I get this done, I'd love to do that, answer some questions that I haven't got a chance to go over. All right, so real quick, let me just show you guys this really quick. So if you haven't checked out, so my website for custom vans, it's odysseycustomvans.com. If you guys are looking for a custom van conversion, shop is located in Hickory, North Carolina. You can contact me right here. So this is, so here's the website. Also, if you guys are looking to have a professional van consultation, if you guys have any questions and you actually want to reserve an hour of my time to answer any questions that you have on your own build, getting a build done, or particularly your build. If you're doing a DIY build and you're in a tough spot and you need some questions, need some professional help, this link right here is a professional van consultation with myself. You can book the 1-hour phone call with me. And it also has a payment link within here. So find a time that works best for you. You can click and reserve a time. If you're interested in getting a van built with me, this link is a free consultation. And this just goes over pricing, build schedule, and design. So this is a typical, once you fill the inquiry, hop on over here and click this link. This is going to bring you to, if you're looking to get a van build. So let me paste this down here. Come on now. We're going to hop in the van here in just 1 second. I just want to paste this link to anybody that would like to go to it. And then last but not least, we have Vanbuilder HQ. This is our blog website, also the YouTube channel. So blogs, we have tons of articles. So this is basically my brain dumped into blog articles to answer any questions that you guys have as far as power systems, countertops, van awnings, true cost of van conversions, solar, you name it. It's probably on here. We have more stuff coming all the time. The big news about the website is I have actually completed, I've built a course, a DIY camper van conversion course that you guys can buy. This is there to help you out. Right now, it's only $50 to access this. It's got tons of content as far as me going through a bunch of lectures and in a very organized way of going through all the stuff that you may need in a van conversion. You've got getting started, what are you planning on doing, choosing your van, 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, what engine side, load capacity, I answer those in the course. Design and layout, off-grid power system design, fresh and gray water storage, insulation, sound dampening, exterior upgrades, finalizing your build, keeping it nice and safe. What's nice right now is we're doing we've got this nice special here. So not only is the course only $50, so click access for $50, you'll get access to the course, all the content in it. Inside it actually has a video that's not on the internet, and that goes through how to buy a used van, what to look for, if it's going to be good or not, the upsides, the downsides. It's me going to a house on the behalf of a customer to see if this van is good or not. So that video is in there. It's really cool. I do a whole walkthrough of this van. I show you what's good about it. And at the end of the video, I actually explain why I did not recommend the customer getting that van and going with a different option. So that is specific to the course. Last but not least, if you get the course, you're going to get a free 30-minute phone call with me to talk about whatever you want to, any questions you have on your own personal van build. So that's pretty cool. That's the offer that's happening right now. So yeah, hop on over here, check out the course. I will get you a link. Here is a link to the course. If you guys are interested, I'd really appreciate it. It helps out the channel. Yeah, check it out. It's vanbuilderhq.com. Click on course, click on access, and there you go. All right, back to the van cam. All right, here we go. We're doing good. We are doing good tonight. So what do we have? It looks like it is time for Havelock wool. It's time to bring in the Havelock. All right, so we got a big old box of Havelock. I will probably need maybe some of another box. Let's see, believe it or not, we've gone through 4 boxes in this van. Let's see, what do we got here? Okay, that is the microwave. All right. Okay, looks like we may be supplementing. Maybe supplementing with some 3M thin slits, so some high-end material. Actually, what's cool about this material is not only is it really nice, but this is from an Adventure Wagon kit that was extra. And believe it or not, it is pre-cut out for what we are about to install this on. Okay, so we're going to, we'll put the 3M, I'm not on camera yet, so don't think you guys are missing out. I'm off camera just trying to get this stuff together. Check this out. Look at that, super fancy. This is the good stuff, look at that. This is like 2 inches thick. So, pop this in here. So I think we can do 2 of these. Let's do that. All right, now don't worry. I'm just temporarily putting this in here until I get it all in. Okay, what we can use on this is a good example. Havelock, you have to pretty much like tape it or string it up into place to get it to hold itself. What's challenging about that is you got to tape it everywhere. So what we're going to do is this, I guess technically you could call this the Adventure Wagon method, but we have some industrial double-sided tape that's very thin. So I do not use adhesive for Havelock. So I'm going to do Havelock in this corner right here. I'm going to show you, this is a great example. We're going to do Havelock right here, and I'm going to show you how I hold it in there. I use masking tape. I know it sounds bizarre, but trust me, it is excellent. See up here at the top? See, this is all masking tape. Holds it in perfectly. Once the panel goes on, it holds it in. So, all good. Let's see, what notification did I get? All right, excellent, excellent. Another project I'm working on is I'm replacing a broken toilet. And that was Shopify telling me that it's on the way. Double-sided tape. This is industrial. Barely put your fingers on it. It will rip your skin off. So we're going to put this right here. Now this is for the 3M Thinsulate, okay? So Jim and Linda on this side of the van are going to get some fancy stuff. This will not, I repeat, this will not work with Havelock, okay? It will not work. The Havelock is, actually here, I'll give you an example right up here. Okay, I'm just going to peel a little bit of this off. All right, and see this, if we stuck it up on here, do you see? It just peels off like hair, almost like dog hair, because it's sheep hair. So see, it doesn't work. So you have to use a different method. I'll show you that method in just a second. All right. Now we need to remind ourselves that we need to bury that cable, the electrical cable, between the two pieces of 3M Thinsulate that we're going to put on the right, as well as the Havelock. Got to keep that in our mind. We also got to come up here and put that piece of, we're going to do that right. Let's put this 3M up, and then we'll do the rest. Okay, so you see the Havelock doesn't stick. So let me fix this so these guys get a nice, we don't want to turn their van into a test van. So let's put a nice piece of adhesive right up here. There we go. Okay, so now we got a clean. All right, so here, there's one. Make sure we get that pushed down. I love the Adventure Wagon system. It's so expensive. It's worth it, trust me. It's very expensive. All right. So you see what we did? Now, shake the fuzz off of this one. So here we go. We've got this. We're going to use two pieces of it. So we're just going to go ahead and hang it up here. All right. Get it up in the corner and just hold it up there. And then just tack the top in. And this, so see how nice that was? Camper Van HQ actually sells pre-cut insulation like this. So that might be a really cool thing to grab. So for the Havelock, so for this one, I folded up. That's what I want to use as my compressed part. Okay, I'm going to tuck it a little bit behind this. Right up against this. Remember, we don't want to smush the insulation. So the Havelock is going to stick out right about like that. So first we're just going to hold this into place. And believe it or not, masking tape, if we just lightly put it on here and just kind of step it in, that's going to secure that just temporarily for us. Then we're going to come up here and we're going to double up this top section. And with Havelock, Havelock you can just tear. If I need more accurate stuff, I'll use scissors. And then we just want to make sure that this is nice and lofted. And then that is going to go right up here, just like that. Okay. And then what we're going to do to make sure that this stays in place is, you guessed it, nice piece of masking tape. And I'm not pulling your leg. This is what I do in the Vans. A little place right there to hold it in. And we'll just kind of come over here on this edge. Let's do that to kind of clean up that corner. And you can go up, down, side to side, diagonal. But this is sticking out here. It's going to go in about 2 inches. Remember, this panel curves, so it's going to meet here. So the panel is going to push this in. So there's no risk of this sagging or falling down. I know a lot of people online say that that's what's going to happen. And not to downplay this insulation, but we're just putting wool in the wall and putting a panel over it. That's all we're doing. It doesn't need to be very scientific. It's just, we're literally just putting some stuffing into a wall. That's it. So we do want to be mindful that the panel is going to come here, so we don't want the tape to go too far over. And so we're just kind of creating this little net. Okay. So that's just going to temporarily hold there. We're going to put another layer here of this. But before we do that, up here, I'm going to get that piece that we need to upholster. So you guys just wait and 1 second. Hey, Moonraker, how do you book the call? So we'll do that. Let's do that right now. I will show you. So what you want to do is you are going to, I'm going to make a third one. I just haven't done it yet. You want to click on the one on the right here. So where it says free. So you're going to click on that. And so right here, this is the call. So I'm going to give you this specific link. So let me copy this. So here is link to 30-minute course, 30-minute call with Nick from the course. So I'll do click here, and then here is the, all right. Okay, so click that, it'll bring you to this calendar, and then you can choose a date and time. So let's just say next Monday. You click on it, and there's a bunch of times over here, and so you can just click on a time, and yeah, we'll chat about whatever you need. I'm glad you said that because we'll do that. I'll do that for the meantime. This is the same thing. So let's just say somebody wanted to do a Vanbuilder with me. This is the same link for anybody that's watching. We're also doubling up. We're going to use this as when you purchase the course, I'll see that you purchased the course. I'll match it up with whoever scheduled the call. And that way when it pops on my calendar, we can do the call. So, no, you're welcome. Thank you so much. If you guys have any other questions, we're going to be working for probably the next hour or so. So let me know if you have any questions. All right. Where is that piece that I custom trimmed? Okay, so is this the piece? Let's see here. Is this the one I cut? This is not it, but this is now going to be it. I have about 6 of these pieces. We also need to put a riv nut in here. So definitely got to do that. All right, let's cut this. Okay, how do we do? Let's see here. This is a clean cut. Again, nobody's gonna see this, but I still like to make everything really nice. All right. Okay, before we get this glued on here, there are 2 holes where our riv nuts need to go to mount our overhead cabinets. So we need to get our drill, our riv nut drill adapter. And plus nuts. So I've done a ton of videos on this. Not a specific video that's titled this, but these are riv nuts, also called plus nuts, or rivet nuts. And what they are is you basically put them into the wall and you mushroom them into a place to bolt things to. So they got a threaded insert. This is called a riv nut drill adapter. This is the one I got off of Amazon. That's the model right there. This thing attaches to a drill. It does take a type of a technique to get this to work, but basically this, you put this on here, screw the rivet on, right, all the way until it stops. Take that space, just bring it closed a little bit. When you put it in the wall and you hit the drill, it's going to smush that into the hole. And so I'll zoom in on one and Where am I? Where am I? Let's see here. Hold on. It's gonna be, camera's gonna go crazy. Okay, let's do this one. Okay. So, I'm gonna go here. Got the hole. All right. And we're going to spritz just a little bit of rust preventative in there because I forgot to do that. Just a little bit of paint is going to be all you need. Just a tiny, tiny little hit of the paint. That's it. See, we're gonna just like little, just like that. And we're gonna come over here. Same thing. Okay. Now, we can go right into there after we did that. It's okay. Now, this is an audible thing. Hopefully you can hear it with my microphone. Just listen. So hear how it went, wah. Like that is when it smushed it. Don't go further than that. Reverse the drill. If you go further than that, you're gonna damage the threads and your riv nut is useless. Don't do that. So next, we're going to hand put on the next one. You might have to extend the barrel a little bit. This will make sense when you get one of these. Bring it in. We're going to do the other one. So we're going to come over here and do that one right there. Okay, look. See? It's a little bit of a paint drip. It's okay. Okay. Now, I need to put a screw in here. I need to do a little bit of convincing. It's a fancy word that means force it. Because I need this to be angled, I need it to be angled up. And this, so put the threads in. I'm just gonna push up a little bit. I'm saying a little bit of an angle on that, okay. So that should be, all right, that should be good right there. This other one, same thing, bend up. Okay, that was good. All right, so now, open up. So now we're gonna go over to the bench and I'm gonna spray adhesive on here. I'll bring it back, I'll install it. We'll cut out the 2 spaces for our riv nut holes and then we'll keep on going. These pieces are really good to practice on because they don't have to be perfect. Okay, we're gonna let this set up. We're gonna go in the van and we're just gonna do a couple of tiny sprays. Grab a piece of used cardboard to kind of deflect, spray a little bit. So we're gonna come over here. So we got our seam. That's where this transition is gonna be. So let's just hit this a little bit. Don't spray the nut. Okay, so all that's going to do is just allow that to tack up. The other piece that we have that we sprayed a bunch on, which is over here, that one is going to make up for wherever we didn't just spray. So I'm going to get a fresh razor blade because we'll need to notch out those holes on the inside. All right. Now remember, we're going underneath this piece over here on the right side. Just a little bit. Okay, going underneath that one. There. Then making sure that we're in the middle of the seam. Light press in case we need to reposition. Okay, looks good. Okay, let's not get too carried away. Let's go ahead and cut this open. If you can cut it really close to the riv nut, that is like, that would be the best thing. It's not the end of the world if you don't. But because again, this part won't get seen. And you can use a little bit of this piece to kind of cover up the hole. I don't know if that, hopefully I'm in focus, I'm not sure. All right, I'm feeling with my hand to see where that next one is, which is right there. So let's just neatly cut this out like a little U shape. So that piece looks really good. Don't push this up. I'll explain here in just a second. Okay, it looks good. Now, the reason I said that is a couple of things. We want to get a piece of masking tape, and we need to start laying out a map of where all the Yeah, get a tap and die set. Rod, you're absolutely correct in case you need to re-tap your rib nuts if you mess up. All right, we're gonna take this masking tape and we need to make, I'm calling it like a map. So we need to map out where this top panel is gonna be able to bolt into the van. It's easy on this side, there's no electrical, so where this transition piece here, this ABC rig wall to ceiling transition piece, there's nothing behind it, so we're safe. But if we drill into here, there's nothing to grab. So just put this piece of tape where these beams are. Be specific, don't screw on the seam. You want to indicate there's a seam by doing 2 pieces of tape. Middle, right there. Right here we got 2 pieces. And then we've got this one way back here in the back. It looks like where we had this transition piece that we're going to do, we get the same, so we can use the same pieces of tape. Looks good. Okay. So that's going to be our map. And then we'll just put a piece over here to say, hey, it's okay. There's no wires back here. Actually, look at that. I do have a wire sneaking in right like that. So this needs to move here. So we can't drill here. That's the ending piece is going to have to be bolted down there. So see, it makes it so we don't mess up. Once that's done, then we can just roll this up. Just like that. Stick that behind there. All right, there we go. So that is good to go. Now this part, this will get fixed when this goes into here. That'll get fixed. If it doesn't, then I have a solution for that, which is really simple. I'm just gonna drill into it to make it hold, but I wanna get this piece in here first before I make that commitment. This piece over here is holding, so yeah, this might be the only piece that I need to do that on. All right, looking good. So, electrical wire. Okay, so this wire, we're happy with this. We can go ahead and cut this off. Any wire that you wire in a van, immediately write on the wire what it is. If you can find a marker. Okay. Here we go. All right. Now let's cut, we get our new cable. Okay, that comes through the panel. So what we're going to do now is temporarily hold this in place over here. And then this can come up and through the wall. So remember our location where we're coming out, we got 5 inches in, so right here on the edge, 5 inches, and then 25 inches down, so right here. So this is where that wire is going to do its thing. Now there is a bend right here that we're going to use to bring the wire around this bottom side, and it's right above the notch out. So there's this notch that is in the panel itself, and so that's what we're going to use to bring the wire through the side of the van. So next, let's see if we've got a piece that's, I think we got a 3M piece. Okay. All right, so that's going to be our second piece. And we don't even have to actually move that wire, which is good. I think I got a bigger piece. We need a slightly bigger piece. Okay. All right, this is excellent. So where's this? Okay, perfect. And just like what we did on this earlier live stream today, we're going to put one additional layer of Havelock over here so that we can, we don't want the wire to make any noise when we are done with this install. So right now what I'm doing is just I'm moving the wire to right over here where we want it to be. This is where it's going to actually come through the panel over here. I know the tape looks silly, but it's really not that serious. I guess that's the easiest way I can explain it. It's just insulation. We just want it lofted and we want it in the right position and not smushed. And so this is what we're doing. I'm cutting this insulation so that my wire can come through right here. Just like that. Okay, everything's in place. I need to make sure that this extra piece that I took is going to go here when I bring the panel in. So let's just double check everything. Looks good. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot. We need to open up these Ford holes right here. Yeah, make sure you open these up now. These right here, these Ford factory holes, or you will not be able to find them later. Now we still have, these are the ones that we have hidden. So, okay, so each of these are open. Remember the panel that we put on there, we also have cut those slits out. We also have made sure that these holes over here are in alignment. Let me get this excess off. There you go. We've got our power. We've got where our power is coming through the wall. Just gonna put a bit right here. Yeah, and it's just to hold it so that if not, this whole thing is just gonna fall when we start moving the panel around on it. so that looks good. Feel good about that. Okay, let's go ahead and get our panel. Before we get it, let's make sure we got one thing that's important. This is a bolt that is threaded for, I think it's an M8 by 1.25. That is the standard Ford thread pitch for the inserts that are already, threaded inserts that are already in the van. All right, guys, how we doing? You gotta keep me motivated. Running on steam at this point. Okay, can you guys see what we're doing? You saw the panel, you saw how everything's going. Let's pop this up. A very satisfying reveal. And I just realized I opened up the place where the wire's coming out, and I really opened that thing up. So I need to make this much lower, actually. Much lower than it is. All right, let's redo this. This needs to go way down here. So I need more slack. And that guy needs to go all the way down there. Okay. Yeah, I did not think it'd be that low. I'll try to show you what I'm talking about. So I opened this up because there's a weird mechanism on the Ford Transit that has to do with a sliding door. It's the weirdest piece of metal over here. If you've already been working on your van, you probably know what I'm talking about, but it's just like, I don't know, it's hard to explain what it is. So, and my original plan for this corner is changing. All right, let's try that. You gotta keep the wire flat. You can't let it lay on its side. It's gotta be flat, or it will not work underneath the panel. Okay. Let's try that one more time. All right, that's good. That's way better. Okay, so first thing we need to do, let's not do that. Come on now. Third time's a charm. So we got multiple things in this van. Most important is these holes over here. They have to get aligned before anything else goes in. So let's just take one bolt, and we need to find kind of where home is for one of these. Okay. So I did find it. It was a little too easy. Don't know how I feel about that. Next, let's get some more bolts here. You guys are going to say, don't forget about the wire. I just forgot about the wire. But don't worry, I will not forget about the insulation. I will get that. All right. Try that again. Okay. That one's happy. Let's get this next one. So right here we got that slit. All right. So the challenging part is some of these, they're really tight, and so bear with me. We're doing a little process of elimination to get these to be where they're supposed to be. We may need to, Rod made a good point. We may have to go in there and actually chase the threads. It's just something that happens with the these bolts. They're stainless bolts. Stainless bolts, you know, I like to use them because they don't corrode in vans. There are some downsides because they do tend to gall if you're putting them in and out, in and out. So what I have here is I have a tap for the thread pitch that this is. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start down here with this one. This one felt, yeah, so this one's just, it's not as clean as it needs to be. So I'm just going to run this in there. Oh yeah. Usually there's just like a little bit of metal burr on it. As long as you just kind of clean that off, it'll go right in, or it should go right in. Yeah, this thing just goes in and cleans the threads. The term is called chasing the threads. But if you put too much insulation in here on these columns, you could snag it with this, and then that's a whole other story. So you might need to put this in the hole and push the insulation back, and then attempt this again. Okay. Yes, I'm really happy with what's happening right now. Knock on wood. Okay, this one has already shown me that we need to go higher. Or one thing is that I was not aggressive enough when I drilled the hole for this. Okay, so it looks like the hull panel is shifted to the right. So I need this panel to go high. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to lift the panel up and tighten this. Okay. Then I'm going to come back over here. Move. So if you watch the other stream from earlier today, as much as I like this Go Code Overland system, it looks really nice. This part that I'm doing right now is kind of the part that doesn't make it such a easy install. Because we have this wood layer, this plastic layer, and then behind that we have a riv nut. So trying to align all that in one go after upholstering it, it's a pretty big undertaking. And even though I've feel very confident in doing it, that's what's nice about the live stream. I mean, you can just see exactly what I'm dealing with. Taking something that was supposed to already be ready to go as far as me putting the riv nuts in and doing all that other stuff. See, gosh, I just don't like the way that's cutting the threads in there. Okay, so that one I didn't think really needed any help. Yeah, some of these, you think you're going to make it better, you might be making it worse. All right, so somehow we have successfully, we got to do one more up here. Let's get this guy. anyway, to finish my thought, it's really cool, but it just depends on how much of an undertaking you want to undertake. All right, I'm gonna try to put this in without chasing it because it's really tight. Okay, yeah, we're okay. All right, so just hand tight on these. You might need to check them every, once a year. Just double check these. Don't put Loctite on it or anything like that, because if you need to ever get behind this panel again, it's going to catch the riv nut, and then that's not going to be good. All right. Did we forget to put the insulation on over here? We did, but we can undo this bolt right here. Okay. So we're probably going to keep this bolt in there. I mean, not right now, but okay, we can still access this. So let's get this down in here. Yeah, we really don't want to forget that. We don't want nothing slapping around in here making noise going down the road. I don't know if Jim and Linda are going to go off-road, but if they do, last thing I want for them is to have some wire flapping around back here. Okay, cable, check. So that's good. We're gonna wait till later to screw all this bottom in because I need to secure this wire over here, but we've got power coming in over here. We can go ahead and this bolt, we're gonna keep this bolt in here. I will put a dab of Loctite on this bolt because let's see here. Am I going to? Let me catch up the chat here. Holy cow. Currently deciding to use rib nut tool to get. Adwagon suggests an Astro pneumatic. So yeah, that one that I have is Astro. So see this one, see? This is Astro. ADN38. The one, they do make pneumatic ones, but they're really expensive and you have to dial in the pressure. I think this is the better solution. How do you fix a riv nut if you messed up? Great question. You have to drill it out, and you're going to have to oversize with a bigger riv nut. That's just what you're going to have to do. You have to drill it out. You can't. If it's not spinning inside itself, you could use that tap like I was doing. You could use this to actually. You could use this to clean it out. Yeah, you want to get a tap and die set. Make sure you get either metric or standard, whatever you're going to use. They don't really come in like well, sometimes they have a double kit, but just pick the ones up from Harbor Freight. That's what I do. Fix the riv nut and the screw and the strip screw on the tool. Okay. It's not too much torque. You're stripping it because what happens is when you go to screw this in, go on. When you screw this in, this is this stainless and this zinc. So if it catches, come on. If it catches like a burr on this, it's going to start to grab, and the stainless is soft, so it's actually, it'll start to gall, which like it'll start to cut itself. And then that messes up the threads on the inside. There is an opportunity to chase it with the tap, but you kind of only have like one chance to do that. Rod might have the answer for installing those. That's funny. Okay, cool. Looks like we caught up. All right, where was I? Let's see here. This slit. Okay, so this one, I'm going to keep that bolt in there. And put a bit of a Loctite on there. So this is going into the forward location. Right. So it looks like I will have to cut out that over here. So over here, this piece of plywood, it had to go up too high, or so much higher. Actually, I'm going to try to lower this, actually, if I can. So I'm going to loosen this, and I'm going to loosen these, because it's going to mess up the let's see if I can get this lower. There we go. Okay, this one's good. Let's check this one out. There we go. Excellent. Perfect. All right. Very nice. So that should be great. All right, let's do the next piece up top here. We'll put a couple screws in it. This piece looks good. We'll get to the other one in just a second. We can still access those. Do a test fit. So again, these wall panels come from a company called AVC Rig. AVC Rig. I really like them. And all right, so that looks good. So I'm putting it in like this, and that looks okay, but I'm gonna flip it around to see if I can get a better fit, because this side over here on this left side is like at an angle. Let's see here. All right, there's that. Let's try that again. They're pretty much about the same. All right, that looks great. All right, remember, we took this up here and we marked off where we're able to drill into this. So we're gonna put a screw right here. Make sure it's even. All right, let's get this thing screwed in. You don't have to, but if you can, try to keep everything nice and even when you screw this in, just for the reveal. Okay, that one looks good. So, okay, the trick over here is on this side. There's two different pieces of metal. This wall to ceiling transition here is aluminum because we installed it. Forward, this top section is a boron steel. It's really, really hard to drill into, next to impossible. Below this seam is regular steel that's in the van. So in a perfect world, you should be able to just put these screws in here on the bottom one. But when you get to the top panel, I'll show you what I mean. Right after a new battery. So here we go. Okay, if it's like that and it's not going in, what we're gonna need to do is get a drill bit, and we need to have a skinny drill bit that starts to open up the hole. I'm gonna pause for that just so I can get through the stream tonight. Let's see if we can get this bag up before it gets too late. Okay. So just because it makes that sound doesn't mean you've broken through yet. You might have to, now you've buttoned it up. Okay. And we'll do one more up there. Now when you tear the head up of a screw like that, if you're doing your own van, that's okay. When I do that, I put a new screw in just so it looks nice. We got one more over here. Hands are getting tired. It's about that time. Let's see how far the second one will go in. I don't want to pinch the wall too much. Looking great. Excellent. We'll come back over here and address this. We're gonna have to, I'm gonna get some new drill bits, and you have to be very careful because you only get one chance to do this corner right. Because every day you're going to use the sink, you're going to see how these are in, or at least in my case. So I don't want somebody seeing that and not look perfect. Okay, now what we're going to do now. Let's transfer these down. I shouldn't need these. I shouldn't need to go back and redo where the bolts are. I just do this to see if I need to go back, I can just pop them back up as a reminder. Okay. Now let's get some extended bolts, some washers, and let's put this last overhead storage cabinet in. Wire in our light, and we will be done tonight. Okay, here we go. There we go. All right, last overhead cabinet going in. Very excited. Now, let's go get our support pole. Guys, this thing is from Zip Wall. You can find them at Lowe's. They're made for painting, like creating like these masked off areas for walls. But I repurpose them for installing stuff by myself. Okay, so what you can do is you can pop this up. Just like this. And then we're going to get this up where it goes. Man, I am tired. Good Lord. All right, let's do that. There we go. That is a better fit, I would say. Okay. Let's take these out. I'm chasing these threads one more time. This one was not feeling too good. It's good. It's just it's got a little bit of a rough start to it. Okay, here we go. Here we go. And the part you guys didn't see behind the scenes is all the work and measuring it took to get these holes drilled into this. This thing was, you know, it's all custom. Here, I'll move the camera up a little bit. But not only is it custom, but the roof, the jacking thing that is called zip wall, right? It's called zip. It's called zip wall. I guess they're 10-foot poles. They can expand to, but they. What's really cool about them is, I mean, obviously what they're doing right now, but when you're installing all the ceiling panels, you can use multiple of them. So I have 8 of them in the shop, and man, I can just pop up the whole ceiling. I can test fit it, all that stuff. So they're really, really cool. Yeah, so you're just looking like tomorrow when I pick up those spacers, that's gonna be a fun job to get those in. So, I mean, these will hold this will hold it up there. I've already tested it. It's not the right thing to do. You really need that secondary wall set up. So if you're gonna do it right. Excellent. Nice. So let's get the light installed and check this back of the van off tonight. All right. The light we're installing is a 12-volt RV Flex LED light from Amazon. It's a reading light. The company is Ace Goo. Right there. All right, so get this wire, bring it through. You guys saw the stream earlier this morning. We did one on the other side of the van. It's nice and easy. These lights are great, really expensive. I think they're 23 bucks, I think. So if you find yourself getting tired while you're doing your van build, not tired of your van build, but tired while you're working on your van, just go ahead and stop, because what you'll do is you might make a mistake. You don't want to do that. So yeah, you don't want to do that. I'm only using 2. There's places where 4 screws. I don't think this is going to be aggressive. We'll go ahead. Let's put 4. We'll put 4 in. Okay. Now we're going to get we need 2 Wago connectors. So let's grab 2 Wago connectors. Wago connectors are electrical connectors, and they snap in nice and easy. Probably brought a box over there that is probably sitting somewhere. Yep, it's over there. I don't know why I ran all the way to the other side of the shop. It's right in front of, there it is. So here we go, Wago connectors. They look like that, these little orange connectors. Hold on, Nova. So you just take them, pop them on, snap it down, pop it on. Snap it down. Get your light. Pop it in, snap it down. Pop it in, snap it down. Right, and then for these, I'm doing something extra. So I'm just going to wrap them with some electrical tape. I did some cloth tape on the other one, but I didn't have that electrical tape earlier. We're just going to wrap these so that they never should pop open, but since this is in the wall, we really don't want it to pop open. That would suck. All right, they come with a little tiny grub screw. You'll need a appropriate screwdriver. A grub screw is also like a set screw. That would be another term people use for it. Right. Now, let's stuff this in here. And we got a lot of insulation, so we shouldn't have any flapping around. The worst case is if we do, we just need to take our wire. Sounds like we do. Okay, let's cut this. You hear how I did that? I did that to check. And it made the sound, so we have to stop and do it the right way. That's what we do. Even if it's late. Okay. So I would be happy, okay, if it's that much in there, I think that'd be good. So let's cut this off here. And we'll shorten this one. There. Okay, that's doing good. Look at that. Only took 2 seconds. Now, will it happen with this additional wire here? It's possible. Okay, let's see here. We could also stuff it to the left. Yeah, there we go. No noise. That's what I'm talking about. All right, let's get this on here. Of course, it's gonna make this difficult. Let's see. Right there. All right, take the tape off. We're done. All right. Bingo. Ta-da. Here we go. We did it. Let's check out our work today. We got this side done with our light. Back of the van's done. We got our TV, electrical outlet, HDMI, additional light over here. So, okay, that's knocked out. Good, good, good. All right, what are questions we got in the comments? We've got water heater installed. I got a Bosch 2.5 gallon water heater. Home Depot had them. Yeah, Rod, I think that's great. I'd use that. I've used that in other vans. No problem with that. PEX pipe. So shark bite fittings are okay. If you can do the opener, like the expansion tool, I know it's expensive. That's good too. But yeah, shark bite fittings, they do work. They're expensive to use it for the whole system, but they're still a good fit. I hear you. Don't want to deal with the clamps. Yeah, if you're not going to do an extensive system, shark bite, you can do that. It's at Lowe's. Easy to use, pops right in. Yeah, so all right, guys. Wanted to thank you guys for watching the stream tonight. don't forget to hop on over to vanbuilderhq.com if you guys are interested in the camper van conversion blueprint. That is my DIY camper van conversion course. It's only $50 if you guys decide to pick it up. We got a special right now where you guys can book a 30-minute phone call with me after purchasing the course. And so you purchase the course, we'll send you a little link over here to the free call with me, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you have for your van build that you're working on. But yeah, that course is available at vanbuilderhq.com. Click on course, and I'm going to put that link in the bottom of this. Also, if you're wanting to have your own custom van conversion built by me, Odyssey Custom Vans, you can also use that same link for the phone call, but you can click on odysseycustomvans.com, go to the website, and click on Contact Us or Get a Quote. It's going to bring you to this page, and you'll be able to fill this page out and get an inquiry. I do have a couple people in line. What I mean by that is I've got a bunch of people that I'm going to be calling tomorrow. I'll be on the road tomorrow, so if you have inquired in the last couple days, I will get back to you tomorrow as I'm traveling, and you'll hear from me. We'll hop together and get on a call. But there's a couple people that have reached out, inquired. I see you. I'm going to call you guys tomorrow when I'm driving, and we can get a phone call scheduled. But yeah, this YouTube channel is great because this is the best way for me to kind of catch you guys up on everything that's happening. There's just a ton of things that have been happening in the shop. I was saying earlier, there's actually 5 vans parked outside. Actually, yeah, there's 5 vans. We have the Lone Star build that is wrapping up, as you can see, very quickly. We have 2 vans, one from Tennessee that's getting just a couple things, electrical system checked out, toilet replaced. That's just a 1-day job. Toilet's on its way coming in. So if you know who you are from Tennessee, parts are on the way. We have another couple that is local, and that is that project is being scheduled. And then we have 2 more that are starting as soon as Lone Star is gone, and those will be wrapping up in August. So those are 2 other van builds. They're extended. They're Ford Transit 148 extended vans, so the long van. So we'll actually have 2 long vans in here. We're doing flooring system, lawn seal, the AVC rig walls, 2 AC units in those vans, or 1 each. Doing the EcoFlow system. One has a 5 kilowatt hours power system. One has a 10,000 kilowatt hour power system. So we'll pop those things in. And yeah, that'll be the next phase of the build. And then the next build date, I've got to call with somebody Sunday to see if we're going to move forward with that project. And that would, the first opening, if you guys are wondering, for Odyssey Custom Vans is September 8th. So it's the first opening for the next slot, build slot. So if you were looking to get a van build done, send me that inquiry, odysseycustomvans.com, and we'll get you on the calendar. Guys, if you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe to vanbuilderhq.com. Get subscribed. Click that like button if you enjoy the content tonight. Also, if you have any question, put those in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer them. I didn't get a chance tonight to get to that. I will answer those questions in a separate YouTube video. So we may do that. Yes, so I will stream that too. I will stream those builds because those builds are what I call I call them like base builds. So it's the floor, wall insulation, wall system, AC, max fan. It's kind of like it's like a core build. It's not necessarily focused too much on the internals. So yeah, I'll stream that too. Yeah, if you guys have anybody that enjoys this content, share the link, share these videos. By the way, the YouTube channel, I really appreciate it. It is growing very quickly. And we are at 4,260 subscribers. So very happy, appreciate everybody that has subscribed and been a part of the journey here. If you go to our popular videos, there's a lot of fun videos that go into, they're of all kinds of stuff. One was our show, we went to Bend, Oregon in 2022. That's a really great video. Shows you a lot of different vans, van builds. We've got Thomas's van build. We've got Van Gogh van build. We've got Ford Raptor. We've got the show in Colorado, Florida Van Life Gathering, which is now Peace, Love, and Vans. That's always a great video to check out. Yes, there was a Patreon that started last year, but I haven't uploaded anything to it. What I'm focusing on now is we'll turn the YouTube into the part where you can do a subscription or donations to help out the channel. As far as, that's why the live stream is so nice, is I can hop on the live stream. YouTube processes everything, does all the stuff in the background, and I don't have to actually do the editing. So I used to do a ton of video editing back in the day. So I used to do wedding films, I used to do like commercials, promos, stuff like that. So to get the vans done, the live stream is the way to do it, to kind of share that with you guys. So there's some completed videos on the back burner, like Peace, Love, and Vans. I did a video there that's not been uploaded yet to the channel. But yeah, the live stream is usually the best way. Membership, I'll probably set that up. But I will tell you guys. So anybody's building a van, they like to watch content like this, somebody working all day for hours, this is the channel for you. So again, get subscribed, like the video, comment below. Can't wait to see you guys in the next live stream. So we will be doing so tomorrow morning, I'm going to be knocking out this section. I probably won't live stream it. We'll plan on Sunday catching back up to get ready for the seat cushions to come in. So when the seat cushions come in, that'll probably be Monday. And then that way we can start to close in the back. Next plan is to move in to the kitchen area. Everything has been measured for the fridge, microwave, and fridge stack. So that's all dimensionally set up and cut. It just needs to be pretty much assembled. And I'm kind of back and forth with a couple of things. That's placement of the fuse panel. I was going to move it to the back. I just don't like it being back here where if the doors are open, that rain can come in if they're accidentally left open. So I'm going to push that probably towards the middle. And then we got another monitor coming in for the driver seat. So yeah, a bunch of stuff to knock out. So next week is going to be a very exciting week. Jim and Linda, stay tuned. I will get with you guys on Monday with an update on kind of a game plan on where we're going to be with the build. But check out the channel. I'll be live streaming pretty much every day, just not tomorrow. We're going to be knocking out. It's going to be filmed. You guys can see the progress. And I'm really excited to get the van done because it's a really cool project. I really enjoyed this dinette setup. I think it's something really cool. I might not do it again, but for you guys, it is like a one-off, really awesome piece of engineering. And hope you guys enjoy it. So guys, that is going to do it tonight. Thanks so much for watching. Once again, get subscribed if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in the next live stream.